And maybe in about sort of a year into the project, the request came whether or not they would be allowed to visit the lab. And they were interested in seeing sort of what's being done in the lab, and speaking also with the people who were involved. And so at that time, the group which was involved in this specific project was about 7 people. And so we arranged for a visit, and so the whole family came, the girl herself, her brother, and both parents. And that was a very, to me, transformative, because all of a sudden you go from this academic discussion about cells with a mutation, and they can grow in a petri dish, and something goes wrong, well, no big deal, we can start again, to saying, here is a person, these are her cells, and everything we do in a lab has a direct impact on either her future or her current well-being, or on the understanding of either her or her parents on the progression of the disease, and also on providing a diagnosis for this girl. So I initially thought it was just me who was sort of affected by that visit. It turns out it was everybody in the group. It's very unusual, especially in a molecular biology setting, that you would have patients visiting, because typically you would work with samples from anonymous donors, or it will be cell lines derived from people who were deceased a long time ago. So it was very, very transformative, and we realized that what we do in the lab has immediate impact. Although we are unable to necessarily find a cure, we can provide much better and much higher level of understanding for the family. And it served both as a motivation for all of us. It was great to see the students, how they changed their view of how important the research they're doing is, and also how you have to approach the setbacks a bit differently, because it's no longer this academic discussion about X, Y, Z. But also for myself, I realized that as a parent, that the value of the information it can be provided by the research team goes beyond just understanding of the disease. And so we then continue to stay in touch with Julie through the years, and try to sort of keep her abreast of some of the discoveries we made in the lab. But also, and this is what I started to appreciate more as we kind of progressed through the project, was to try to work on communicating to the other, of the larger scientific community, how you can have a patient and patient partner focused research, academic research, and how it can be perhaps used as a model for others. And so between our clinical colleague, herself and myself, we started to think of it sort of more globally. And so we've done some presentations. We'll be doing another presentation this fall, really showing the story from 3 different perspectives. How does the patient see it, or patient's family in this case? How does the clinician see it? And how does the basic researcher see it? And how we can each contribute to the development of the partnership itself.